Hi everyone, my name's Barbara. Welcome to my channel, Right in the Woods, where I share my love of journaling of all kinds and stationery of all kinds. If this sounds like you, I hope you'll consider following along. This is my very first video. I am pretty much a retired from everything except for I teach a insight or awareness journaling session once a month via Zoom, and some of my participants have been asking about different kind of journals that I keep. So I thought I'd start with my everyday journals. I'll start with this one first. Well, first of all of these beautiful journals are from Archer and Olive, and they make the most exquisite journals. So some of you might be a little bit scared. You're like, those are so pretty. I don't dare write in those. You know what? You deserve to write in pretty journals, even if it's messy. I do use all kinds of different kind of notebooks and journals, but these are my favorite, and they are very pretty. And then when I first got them, I was also scared of using them. I didn't want to so-called ruin them. But anyways, so let me begin. So first one. Now, do people consider this a journal? I'm not sure. I would call it a planner, but people can make journals into planners. You can make notebooks into journals, into planners. So if you fall into the rabbit hole of stationery and journaling, you're going to find people call things different things. But this to me is definitely a planner, and it is a calendar. And then, so that's like a month, and then there's weekly pages after that. As you can see, I have just decorated them. A lot of the decorations in here are from Archer and Olive as well. They sell a monthly kit to decorate planners, so that's nice. So I'll just flip through this real quick. But really what this is a to-do thing for me. It's fun for me to pre-decorate this, and usually midsummer I will get a new planner and I will decorate it. And usually I get undated planners and then decorate it with stickers. At some point I'll do another video on my favorite stickers. All right, so that's basically it. If you want to see a week in progress, well, here we are. This is April, so we just finished April, but it's not very pretty. It's just basically my to-do list, and when I do it, I check it off. All right, so it is not, it looks pretty until I write in it, but I like having it look pretty. So, all right. So planner, every day I'm in there. I don't carry this around with me. Usually I do all my scheduling via my phone, and then I'll come and transfer it to this, and I just leave this on my kitchen table where I see it every day, so I know what's going on. Second everyday journal is this one. And this is what I call my process journal. Now, this is something that I don't usually save my process journals at the end of the year. They are for writing down thoughts and feelings, mind dumps, streams of consciousness. Sometimes I use a prompt. If there's anything that I find that's important in here that I've written, I usually end up putting it somewhere else. But generally, I want a safe place where I can just release whatever my thoughts, whatever's going on, thoughts, feelings, and so forth. So let me show you how this particular journal works. It's actually two parts. So this is a case, and then this is the actual journal. So I don't throw away the pretty part. I throw away the insert, which is a paper. Basically a paper journal. All right, this is like cardstock, and then the journal just slides into the cover. Again, this is Archer and Olive, and they have several of these covers, and then you can buy the inserts. I can get this in nicely, but I think you get the idea. Well, you know, it goes in easier than I'm showing you, but it's generally that. There you go. Okay, So then it just slides in there. And when I complete one of these, I just get a new one and put it in here. So do I decorate? I used to not decorate my process journals, but this year, just for fun, because I have a lot of stickers, I will go through and pre-decorate. Nothing fancy, really. Maybe to some of you it looks fancy, but I'll just go through and pre-decorate it. And then when I go to journal, it seems a little more exciting to do that. So again, this is just a process journal, so I'm not going to stop and go, but you can see I just journal, blah, 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 whatever's going on that day. If you're a morning page person, this is good for that. If you like to do daily prompts, now whether you want to save that journal or not, I guess it would depend on if you want something that you could just throw away at the end of the year. So, yep. So that's the process journal. Do that every morning. And then lastly is this one. And I'm in this pretty much every day. Sometimes I'll go a couple days and then I'll fill it in. But this journal I also pre-decorate. I'm very much into pre-decorating. It's just fun to decorate. But this is my 1 box a day journal. Let me put this out for a second. All right, so this is actually a piece of paper. I created these boxes on my computer and then I printed it out and pasted it into this book. This is a notebook size. A notebook size notebook from Archer and Olive. So I paste in the boxes. I follow the moon cycles. So generally, and then each day I will write either a quote or something or draw an interesting little picture. And you don't have to be an artist to do this. Though if you are an artist, this could be your one doodle a day in your box. But generally I write down a quote or something I want to remember, or I draw a little picture. Right. There's a lot more to this particular journal, but I'm just going to give you the gist of this. I'll probably do I could do a whole separate video on this one. All right. So 1 box a day. If you're interested in trying this, you could draw. This is a dot grid album, so there's tiny little dots on these pages. Let's see if I can just show you an empty page. And if you can see the dots. So I could draw those boxes in, but I tried that. That was a lot of work. And I can get 3 years in this journal. I do not throw this one away at the end of the year. And again, if you're interested in more, if you're interested in more information about this particular journal, stay tuned because I'll probably do a whole video just on this 1 box a day journal. Now, do I have how many notebooks could somebody have, right? I do have a couple other notebooks. Some of them are kind of just for fun. Some of them I don't really do one of them I do every day, but it's mostly for fun. And then I have one that I do almost every night. Let me start with that one. And this is a journal. I got this as a gift. I don't even know what kind of journal it is. All right. But again, it's the one's a line journal. All right. And the nice thing about this is a plain cover. So, if you want to decorate covers, then find some plain journals or notebooks. But this is my nighttime journal. So I was having trouble sleeping, and I heard that sometimes some of the issues for having trouble sleeping is you have unresolved stuff going on. So I thought, well, I'm going to journal every night. But I'd crawl into bed and I wouldn't know what to journal about. So I just printed off prompts from the internet of bedtime prompts. And then what I would do is I just go and I write them at the top of the journal. So, and a little bit of decorating. That's just fun. All right. So this one is, do I feel safe and comfortable to fall asleep? All right. The other one is describe today with 1 word. All right, so some nights I just crawl in bed and read, but other nights I'll pick this up and journal. Has it helped me sleep better? Maybe. Don't know. All right, so that's the nighttime sleep prompt journal. I'm not really noticing that much of a difference, but it is kind of nice to wind down journaling instead of like on my phone or something like that. This journal is also an everyday or every night journal, and trying to think if I'll do something special with this. What I might do is I might come on and do a decorate this album. This is an Hours journal, Ours, that I got from a company called Simple Paper Co. Simple Paper Co. It's a store in Florida, but they have an online shop as well. So I've kind of decorated this cover, and it is actually a planner, but I use it like a journal. So every month I'll decorate the calendar, right? And then I decide one thing I want to document a day. So this one is memories of my mom, since this is May from like Mother's Day, memories of my mom. And then when you get into the back here, it has daily pages for each week. So this is also May. So this I'm keeping track of the weather. I've decorated this. I think that's mostly why I do this journal, is just to have fun decorating. And then you pick a subject and do a little journaling on it. So this one is memories of me being a mom. And I fill this out every night. It's just like a couple sentences, so it doesn't take much at all to fill this in. All right. And I change the decoration ideas every month, but I follow a theme. So like for May, it's cats and tea. I think last month in April it was florals and desserts, so baked goods. All right. And sometimes it gets pretty busy. But I just have fun. On Sundays, I sit down and I decorate this journal for the next week, and then I'm ready to journal in the evening. So that's just a kind of a fun everyday journal before bed. Different than the prompts, though. I think the prompts might just help me process a little bit more of the day. Then there's this journal, and notebook. It could be a journal. It's a journal. How do we know? Notebook, journal. I even looked it up online. Like, what should I call these? Because I would call it a journal. Other people call them notebooks. All right, so you just pick your term. I'm going to call this a journal. This is a daily journal, and I was inspired by a woman on YouTube. Her name is Heba, and her channel is My Little Journal. And I can link that in the description below. But this is just a daily journal. In my life, I'm retired, so it's this is also a Archer and Olive. So I think I've only shown you two that aren't Archer and Olive. I love Archer and Olive for their notebooks. But I started this in April. Oops. And I just document what I did during the day. And again, I get to use stickers. All right. But Heba's daily journals and her other journals are so neat and tidy. I thought, well, it'd be fun to have like a neat and tidy journal. I guess usually mine are not neat and tidy. So, yep, just flipping through. My life is very quiet. I'm retired. So I thought, what am I going to write about? But I always seem to find something, and it's just one page. And if I don't have a lot to say, I just add more stickers. So I think back here you'll see that I start using bigger stickers. And I started doing AM and PMs, and then I gave that up. So it's like whatever makes you happy, whatever's simplest for you. Yep, so we're getting into May, and see, then I start using bigger stickers just to take up more space, because I felt like I was writing the same thing every day. But I have, after doing it a little bit over a month, I have found I can just start talking about other things. So there we go. So this is a nice journal, and usually I do this after dinner or right before dinner and just write about my day. And that's it. So that's a lot of notebooks or journals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 pretty much almost daily journals, except for the bedtime prompt one. How many journals do you have? How many notebooks? What do you call them? Do you call them journals or notebooks? So thanks for joining me today, and I will be back with some more ideas and even some more therapeutic kind of journaling for you all. Thanks so much. May you all be happy and healthy and creative today. Bye-bye.